Welcome to the LynnCAM TV Show. I'm Sean Donahue. Here with me are Pam Edwards and Barbara Mann of the Mass Senior Action Council. Thanks for being here, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Now, we're here to talk a little bit about your organization, which we will get into, but let's learn a little bit about you guys first. Pam, why don't you start? Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got involved with Mass Senior Action Council, and why you're here today.
Sure, Sean. My name is Pam, as you said, and I moved to Lynn about 9 years ago to be with my partner. And whenever I first moved here, people knew that my background was in social justice issues. And a friend said, hey, there's this great organization, and they're getting ready to hire a community organizer. So I applied, and I've been there for 8 years.
Excellent. Cool. So you're liking it so far. Now, Barbara, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved?
Well, I'm a native Lynner, and I've lived here my whole life. I worked for the city at the library. I retired from the library. And I came by accident onto Mass Senior Action. A friend of mine lost her husband, and she needed to get out, so I told her I would go to the meeting with her. And it was just a wonderful meeting. The issues were so relevant to everything that was going on for seniors, and not even for seniors, for everyone, that that's how I started going to the meetings and getting involved, and I've worked my way up now so that I'm president of the North Shore, and I'm also president of the state.
Congratulations! That's an awesome. It's an awesome feat, and it's cool to hear that you're from Lynn. You worked over at the library. It's a fantastic building. We love it there. It's on historic Lynn as well.
Yes.
So, for the people who don't know at home, what we're focusing on today is building a senior voice. And thanks to Pam, we have that soundbite. But the Mass Senior Action Council is an organization that's based in the whole entire state of Massachusetts. And I'll save this one for you, Pam. Why don't you tell us what the Mass Senior Action Council is and its basic mission?
Sure, Sean. 33 years ago, retirees and seniors came together and found out that once they left the workforce, decision makers didn't listen to them as much as they did when they were in the workforce and they had their whole workforce with them. So they started organizing across the state and building a senior voice and a senior power. And they found out that by doing this, then they could focus on the rights and well-beings of all seniors and collectively work together to work on issues that affect the whole community, and especially seniors.
Okay. Now, Barbara, you know a little bit about the organization, its background, how it came into existence. Can you expand on that for us?
Well, Mass Senior Action is a member-driven organization. The members decide the issues, and then they go ahead and do the issues. They do the rallies, and they do everything that is involved in trying to get a better life for people, and at the same time protect their rights. And it's not for just one, it's not just for seniors, but it's for everyone, but especially the vulnerable seniors.
Okay, so you guys, it's safe to say that essentially what you are advocates for seniors, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so advocacy is a big topic right now, especially in politics. We've got more and more consumer advocates coming out of the woodwork, and now we've got specialized groups who are advocates for social classes who are out there trying to preach about, the poor deserve this, or the middle class deserves this, or the upper class deserves this. But we also have people, and we have classes of ages as well. So you had mentioned that you guys discuss certain issues, you figure out which is a priority, and then you try to go out in the field and make that happen. What are some of the issues that you're talking about today? Pam? Or Barbara? Either or, whatever works.
Well, transit equity is a big issue right now with the ride. We've been working on that. And also the preservation and the strengthening of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Those two issues, especially right now, we've been working on the ride because, as most people know, the ride doubled in 2012, and people just can't afford it. And they're taking away from their food, they're taking away from their medicine, because they need to take the ride to go to the doctors. Their social aspects have been depleted. They can't go out of the house. A lot of them are housebound. And so there are so many reasons that, people just can't afford it. And the regular percentage of increase was about 32%, but for seniors it was over 100% for the ride. So
Wow.
so that was one of the things that, I mean, we can get into more of that later if you want. But
Sure.
the other thing is the strengthening of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Those aren't just senior issues. If they're not handled now, they won't be there for the future generations.
So transportation sounds like it's a huge deal.
It is.
As well as Social Security benefits like that. I'd like to take some time aside to just kind of recognize seniors. And I mean, in a lot of other cultures, senior citizens or the olders or the elders, as they call them, are really first priority in a lot of different cultures. And their words mean a lot more. And I think that that's really indicative of like how they led their lives. Everything that is here today that we enjoy as people is attributed to our seniors, to their seniors, to their seniors, to their seniors. And people should recognize that there will be a day where you're older and you're in the same situation where you're considering, how am I going to get places, or how am I supposed to pay my bills this week, or how am I supposed to earn benefits. So it would be a word to the wise to take our seniors into consideration. So those are some good issues that you guys are talking about. I hope you have a little bit more success with them as well. So let's talk a little bit about victories. You guys have been, it's not just what you're doing today. You've had some success in the past. So let's talk about victories, your past and present. Pam, can you take that one?
Sure. Building off what Barbara said on those two issues, with the RIDE, which is the paratransit vehicle that people see all over town, taking seniors to the doctor, and that for 2 years, members attended every MBTA hearing across the state, from Salem to Lynn to Bristol County. They also told their legislators, did rallies, and we even had some civil disobedience twice, blocking Beacon Street and also the transportation building. And in December, we were thrilled when the MBTA said, we are going to listen to Mass Senior Action. We have, we've had enough of you blue shirts coming into our building and making us feel bad. And they announced that they would roll back the cost of the ride, and they would continue to negotiate with Mass Senior Action to go towards a tiered fare that would be based on income rather than just a flat out rate, which is what we've all said. There are some seniors who can afford the $4, the $5 ride, but there are many who cannot, and the difference can be life-threatening if they cannot get to the doctor and if they cannot get to the programs they need to be at. You know, we're talking dialysis 3 times a week, chemotherapy 5 times a week. Right. So that was a huge victory. And then also the Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid that affects everyone. There's over, I forget, like 10,000 children that are on Social Security in Massachusetts. So whenever they cut that, when they talk about a chain CPI cut, that affects your whole family, your whole community. So we were very proud. In November of 2009, we took 5,000 postcards to Senator Kerry. We filled the Wang Center with almost 4,000 people. And we stopped the cuts through Senator Kerry's office because he was appointed to a special committee to look at that. And we continue that fight this day.
Yeah, we can see some pictures up on the screen today, and those are excellent victories. I mean, those are differences, and those are momentum starters. When I hear Mass Senior Action Council, I think superheroes. I really do. Like, I mean, you can't help Mass Senior Action Council. It's just, that's awesome. And you had mentioned that members, right? Members are a big part of this. So members, people who stand out, they earn themselves a T-shirt. On that T-shirt is actually an older person with a cape. You mentioned that to me, Pam.
It's our senior superhero logo. Yes, we have Howard McGowan, who received it last year. He'll be 90 in July, World War II veteran. Howard has his own blog, his own Facebook page, and he's been an activist his whole life. He started out of the Marines and started Toys for Tots. He was his division was the first Marine division ever to collect toys for tots, and to this day, he's still an activist. He's truly a senior superhero.
Albert is his name. He's a Lynn guy?
This is Howard McGowan. He's our one of our other chapter members in the Metro North Malden area. We have 7 across the state, and Howard happened to have it last year. 2 years ago, our Springfield chapter person was John Bennett. He had driven so many people from Springfield into Boston that we had figured out that he had probably about 3,000 miles that he had in advocacy work. So
Wow.
he received the Senior Superhero Award the year before Howard.
Well, congrats,
So
gentlemen.
This year
Definitely.
we're still working on it, so there's still time. If people want to have that T-shirt to be that senior superhero, whenever we vote for it in the fall.
Cool. Now, you pick one out of the whole entire state. It's not just your chapter, right? This person represents all of the Mass Senior Action Council. That's pretty cool.
We have over 1,000 members, and the chapters go from Springfield to Bristol County and as far back here to the North Shore and Boston and everywhere.
So what about how many total chapters are there in the state of Mass?
7.
7 chapters,
Yeah.
okay. Now you guys represent the entire North Shore. Right now we're talking about membership. So membership, I'm sure, is made up of a lot of seniors, but it's not just seniors as well. Anybody can become a member.
Yes, that's true. The membership is open to anyone. To make sure that it's a senior-run organization, though, to be an officer and to be on the state board, you have to be 50 or over. But since we work on issues that affect the whole community, our membership ranges in all ages.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the role of the staff. You said it's a member-run, right, organization, senior-run organization. So tell us about some of the roles of the staff at your organization.
Well, sometimes we like to think of the staff as, say, a coach. A coach doesn't pitch the ball, a coach doesn't bat the ball, but it does kind of have a big view and can see where everyone's talent is and tries to plug everyone in, no matter their capability, their likeness, their talent, and find out where they can go. Not everyone can come on LynnCAM on TV like Barbara can or speak in front of 3,500 people at the Wang. But we do have people that have music talent that love to do skits at the State House and, you know, maybe even just be the one that makes coffee at the meeting, because we all know you cannot have a meeting without coffee and snacks.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Pizza, if there's youth there has to be pizza.
Right.
Or hot cocoa. I know that.
Every age group has their thing for their meeting.
I'm a cup of noodles guy right now. I'm not gonna lie. Good cup of
It's
noodles.
hard to do a cup of noodles for 3,500 though.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, I mean, sometimes when I take people out, dinner for everybody, ramen's on me. So that's interesting that your membership, it's a member-run organization. You know, seniors are a big part of it, but you're also involving younger people. So. What would you say to people who are looking to become members today? I mean, how would you sell them on the idea? Say a young guy or a younger guy like me, maybe younger, 22, 24 years old comes in. How would you sell them on becoming a member?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, we'd welcome anyone that, you know, because when we went to the Wang, I took my grandchildren with me because I wanted people to understand that it isn't, you know, just everything that's going on right now with seniors, because people will say, well, you're a senior, you're already set with Medicare and Social Security, but that's not true. Things are changing all the time. But I wanted them to understand that these children coming up are the ones that none of this ability to have Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, for that matter, would be available for them. So I wanted people to understand that it went over just one generation. And everything that you know, we did that day, it was just really intergenerational. There were old ones and young ones.
It's good to see that, you know, coming into play as well.
Yeah.
So, well, let's talk a little bit more about what you guys are going to be doing for the next few months, some of your continuous improvements, and what you'll be working on once we get back from our break. We'll go to that break right now. Stay tuned at home and come back.
And this is Johnny. We're working with Best Friends Animal Society to stop the suffering of millions of breeding dogs in puppy mills who supply puppies to pet stores. You can help too by not adding to the demand for pet store puppies. When searching for your next best friend, do what I did. Adopt. Don't shop. Let a shelter dog like Johnny steal your heart.
There are heroes among us. They don't fly or bend steel or ride off into the sunset. They simply volunteer to look after someone else's health by providing comfort, lending a hand, or simply keeping us on track. Everyone's health needs a hero. Who will you look out for?
Find out how you can participate in improving our health. Visit iparticipate.org.
Welcome back. For those just tuning in, here with me on the LynnCAM TV Show, Pam Edwards and Barbara Mann of the Mass Senior Action Council. Ladies, we've been talking a little bit about the organization, how you guys got started. We had mentioned memberships, the roles of members, who can join. Let's talk a little bit about what your plan is for the next few months, okay? I know advocacy is a huge thing. All right, today's topic, what we're talking about is enabling the senior voice, all right, helping them build a voice for the seniors. In the next few months, your group's going to be going on a few quests, ventures, if you will. Pam, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. At Mass Senior Action, this is a very busy season because the state legislators are right now talking about the budget for next year, 2015. And in that budget, they're going to talk about home care, senior housing, Meals on Wheels, things that people depend on every day for their life. What we hope to do is to bring seniors in from all over the state into the State House, let them talk to their representatives, so when decisions are being made, the people being affected are a part of those decisions. Okay. So we will start on the middle of March, bringing folks in, setting up meetings. They'll talk one-on-one with their legislator. We will do phone calls and some advocacy in the district to let people know. And right now, the governor's budget looks pretty good compared to previous years, so we're pretty excited. This might be a positive year. But we want to make sure that no matter what the issue is, if it's your housing, if it's your home care, you get to speak about it.
Absolutely. And I mean, that's the beauty of America. I mean, everybody has the right to express themselves, no matter what age group they're in, what race they're from. You know, civil rights it's attributed to this. And I mean, I think that you guys are going to have a lot of success. You're well organized, right? And I think that that's a big part of enabling the senior voice, is being organized. And you know, they say the old idiom is the squeaky wheel always gets fixed. So you guys being there is a presence in itself. So budget's a huge issue right now, right? Right now, it's all about money. How can we fund programs? How can we make sure that our seniors are taken care of?
I can tell you, Sean, that several years ago in Massachusetts, speaking of the squeaky wheel, this is the difference. Prior to 2006, the budget totally shifted all of the long-term care money to the nursing homes. And if you would do a survey of people, I don't care what age, they're probably, that is not their first choice for long-term care as a nursing home. Most people want to stay in their home. So we went to work and we had legislation passed that now you have a choice to where your long-term dollars go in the state. If you were on Medicaid, you were 85% more likely to go into a nursing home in Massachusetts than anywhere else in the country. Wow. That's the big blue state, Massachusetts, the big liberal state, 85% more likely. With no say, no choice. That's just where you went. Now, people can say, nope, I want those same dollars to go in my home, and the state is finding out they're saving millions of dollars since 2006 by allowing people that choice.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's the difference in the budget season. That's the difference of sitting in your couch, worried about your long-term care, and coming with us to the State House and having a voice.
You gotta do it. I mean, anything that's ever been done. Nobody cares about the try, you know? And I think it was Yoda who said, there is no try, do or do not. And you guys are a good example of that. I mean, I know it's Star Wars, but do or do not, there is no try. Nobody wants to hear about a story about a guy who tried. They want to hear a story about a guy who made a difference. Or at least, you know, he's got a cool story about how he failed, you know? So it's like do or don't. I mean, you guys are a great example for, I mean, really anybody who wants to make a difference. You got to go out there and you have to speak about it. And think about it. I mean, you guys came up with this idea, okay. You said, I think it was, what was the percentage of people who go into nursing homes back in?
85% more likely.
85% of senior citizens are more likely to go into a nursing home in the state of Massachusetts than anywhere else. You came up with a solution that actually saved us money. Go figure, right?
Yes.
So if you have an issue out there and you think that you can make a difference, there's a good chance that you can.
right.
So let's talk a little bit about...
Well, we're not all business, Sean.
That's right. You had something to say about that.
Yes, well, our annual dinner, we do it once a year, and this year it's going to be on March 20th, and we do it at the Dorothy Quincy Suite in Boston at the John Hancock, and it's to thank everybody and to celebrate with everybody for all the hard work that the members have done during the year, and our allies as well, and they everything there will be included. The transportation is included, and it's a great night. We'd go from 5:30 to 8:30, and we have a nice meal. There's a band, and we get to see what people have done through the year. From all the different chapters, we have unsung heroes, that type of thing, but it's a great time for all. And if anybody wants to find out more about it, our regular meetings are on the third Wednesday of the month. We do it usually at one of the senior housing. This coming one will be on the 19th, and it's going to be at the Kings Beach Towers down on Eastern Avenue. We can make arrangements for any type of, anybody that needs transportation there, but we'll be discussing that, and it wouldn't be too late at that time, if anybody wanted to come to the dinner as well.
So you're not just business.
We're not just business. We do even, have drinks and dancing every once in a while. So, because we have a lot of victories that we need to celebrate, and wonderful seniors that are leading the way and paving these victories, and so we have to celebrate that along with the struggles.
Now that's on March 20th at the John Hancock Building.
That's right.
Members and others supporters, partners are welcome to join. And you said
And
there's also
the buses will leave from here. Generally, there's one from the senior center and there's one from Wall Plaza.
Okay, so transportation will be provided.
Yes.
Awesome. So definitely, these guys aren't just fighters of the cause. They know how to have a good time too. So that's exciting. Let's talk a little bit about how people can get involved. A lot of people may not know about the Mass Senior Action Council. We could talk a little bit about what you're doing to generate an interest after this. But tell me a little bit about how you get people involved. What do they do? What's the first step?
Well, the first step is they can contact the information that LynnCAM has provided today. As Barbara said, come to our meeting on March 19th at Kings Beach Tower. That's my information on there, and I'm the organizer for the North Shore area. That's Pam Edwards. So feel free to join us at any of those. And if you just want to hear more about us, we do have our website that's also been posted that has our issues and the things that we're working on. And we hope that you will, if you're interested, that you'll come along, because our strength is in the power of our voices, and the more voices we have, we can be the squeakier the wheel to get some of these issues resolved and direct you in the best part of Mass Senior Action that most interests you, and help you can join us.
Okay, excellent. So if you're interested at home and you want to make a difference, there's plenty of ways to get involved. You visit their website. You can even go down to the location. You give these guys a call. Ladies, I definitely think that a lot of these issues that we're talking about are important. We'll save lastly, all right, in closing, if there was one thing that you could change in legislation about, senior citizens, what would you do? One thing. You get the free go. One wish. What's your wish?
Our one wish would be that we would take the money out of politics so that we could elect officials that were truly in it just to serve the people rather than the corporations that are paying them.
Right. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Right.
That's our. We feel that that's why the attacks on Social Security are coming, because Wall Street and big banks who could really use that Social Security money to invest it in things that they care about,
like boats
or stocks, that kind of thing, is why those contacts are. And I think that that's why we have a deadlock in Congress, because there's been too much outside influential money instead of the people going in there and serving their constituents.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 split, and Barbara, you've been around long enough to know how democracy works, and it's not just two voices. It's 600 million voices, right?
And
go ahead.
that's the most important thing. The voice has to be heard. If anybody has a friend that is in Mass Senior Action, they should bring them along to the meetings. Everybody's welcome. They don't have to join. Anybody's welcome at the meetings. You don't have to be a member, but it's important that a lot of voices are out there. There's no way that one person can do this. If just with the T, you can see the difference. They hated to see these blue shirts.
Yeah.
We went to every meeting. We went across, and they went down to Barnstable. They went everywhere for these meetings, and it wore them down because they could see the point. So I was, that's the most important thing is your voice. You don't have to have money, and you don't have to have all these other things that sometimes we attribute to success.
You need to have ideas, and I think that you guys touched on some pressing issues. You'll continue to do so. I thank you for being here. That's about all the time that we'll have for today's show. Okay. Mass Senior Action Council, Barbara Mann, and we also have
Pam Edwards.
Pam Edwards here. Thank you, ladies, for being down. Pam Edwards, Barbara Mann of the Mass Senior Action Council. March 19th, they'll be having a meeting, and on March 20th, they'll be going down to the John Hancock Tower for a little bit of fun. So reach out to those guys to get that info. Thank you. I'm Sean Donahue, and that's our show for today.